Have any of you guys seen what's been going on in Detroit over the past couple of days? This story almost flew under my radar because I saw about a day or two ago that there was some flooding in various neighborhoods throughout Detroit. I believe a water pipe bursted. And I saw that the neighborhoods were flooding, but I didn't think about how cold it is in Detroit. So we have a couple of neighborhoods that entirely flooded. I'm talking like 3-4 feet of water, maybe even higher in some areas. Cars almost, halfway covered in water, and then all of the water froze. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Day After Tomorrow or something like that, but it really looks like it. It looks like a new ice age in these particular neighborhoods in Detroit right now. And there are hundreds of people trapped in their homes. Some people have been rescued and evacuated. I'm going to go ahead and hop in the numbers right now. Now, these numbers are subject to change, but at the time of this recording, there are still hundreds of people who are trapped in their homes. Temperatures in the city are as low as -7 degrees right now. All of the cars that were trapped in the floodwaters, they are frozen in ice. I doubt they will ever work again. There are 398 homes in the flood zone. 63 adults, 31 kids, and 13 pets have been evacuated so far. 83 families are currently staying in hotels. 60% of the residents in these neighborhoods remain in their homes, and thankfully, at least for right now, most of them still have electricity. However, there are 72 homes without electricity. 190 homes have flooded basements, and 174 homes are without heating. So you got some people who have not been evacuated yet. You got some people who have decided to stay. And literally their basement is filled with frozen water. Some of these people could walk down to their basement and ice skate. And in some cases, the water is in their home. Now, being from where I'm from, I am no stranger to flooding, okay? We go through hurricane season. I've seen a lot of flooding. I've never seen, somewhere flood and then freeze over. So that's really scary, and I can't even begin to imagine the amount of damage this is doing to people's homes. The cars are gone. Listen, sometimes it could flood and your car might be okay. It will never be the same. The interior will never be the same, but hey, you might actually be able to drive the car away. I don't think that's happening here. I don't think that's happening here at all. And like I said, some homes, their homes started flooding, and next thing they know, it starts freezing over and they're like slipping all around the house. Luckily, a lot of these people have been evacuated, but it's something I don't remember seeing something like this. I don't remember seeing something like this with, for one, a pipe bursting and flooding these neighborhoods in the way that it did. And of course, at the time of the year, when it's -7 degrees outside, it's just crazy. Something I would never want to deal with. It snowed where I live for the first time in years a couple of weeks ago. And we had to deal with the snow for a few days. And look, growing up in the South, all I ever wanted was for it to snow. The snow looked so magical. It looked so fun. But after dealing with it for a couple of days, I was like, yeah, I don't want to live around snow. Screw this. But anyways, I want to show you some clips of what's going on in these neighborhoods, how it looks out there, because it is insane. It is crazy. Something I've never seen before. Let's go ahead and roll these clips really quickly, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Thank you so much.
Five. Three children.
Okay.
The original report started coming in at 2:15 this morning of a water main break. It gradually got worse and worse. About 4:30, we had a victim that was stuck on the hood of his car that needed to be rescued. As the water main break continued, the water got deeper and deeper. There's reports of like 3 feet of water in people's basements and in the street. Basically, they were trapped in their houses without heat, so we started initiating this operation we have going now.
About how many dive teams?
We have 11 dive teams from all the different counties in the area.
You've never seen anything like this?
No, being on the dive team for as long as I have, this is the first time we've had to respond to a neighborhood to put divers in the water.
Especially this kind of main break in this just densely populated.
In a low-lying area too, so it's just one thing compounded another.
Some of these people, they just look helpless.
Basically, they're in their homes calling 911. As soon as we get a call for a request for rescue, we send people in. That, and we have all the dive teams clearing every house on the different streets that are affected to make sure everyone's okay. We're advising everybody, if you don't have any heat or power, to give 911 a call and send people in to get you.
Now, a lot of you might be wondering, how could something like this happen? Well, if you haven't been paying attention lately, most of the big cities in America are poorly run. They are poorly managed. There's a lot of money coming into these cities, and I'm not necessarily talking about Detroit in particular, but there's a lot of money flooding into these cities that is going elsewhere. It's going to everything except what it needs to go to, which is, in a lot of cases, our infrastructure. You see, the pipe that bursted here in Detroit was a pipe from the 1930s. Okay, the pipe was about 95 years old. And so are most of the pipes running underneath Detroit. Most of them are about 100 years old. Some of them are from as far back as 1854. So what we're going to start seeing in this country, and it's not just places like Detroit, and we've already started seeing this, a lot of our infrastructure is deteriorating. The pipes underneath the ground, they're rusting, they're ready to burst, they're falling to pieces. Our bridges, some of our bridges are pretty bad. Some of our roadways are pretty bad. Our train tracks are really bad. So, a lot of the problems that we've been seeing over the last few years, and the problem that we're talking about right now, it comes from this aging infrastructure that needs to be replaced. When you look at a lot of the plane crashes, you got to understand that there's a lot of factors that play there as well, but some of these planes are old. And even the new planes that we're building, they aren't built in the way that we used to build things. And some of the new planes that we're building with old parts, scrap parts from junkyards. So, when you look at something and you think, like, how could this happen? You don't really expect an answer, but there are answers. There are reasons why everything is falling apart. And that's because a lot of our infrastructure is old. It's older than you. It's older than me. It's older than both of us put together. And if you think that it's just Detroit, trust me, it is not. But I can't imagine being in that situation right now to where, out of nowhere, it floods because a pipe burst, and then next thing you know, you got an ice skating rink in your living room. And like I said, I'm not sure the type of damage that will do. I know you're already going to get damage from the flooding, but what happens when that water that's seeped into your basement and in your foundation and it's in your home, what happens when it freezes? And when water freezes, it kind of expands. Man, there's going to be a lot of damage to these homes. There's no telling how much damage was done. But as far as I've heard, it's going to be a while before they're even able to fix this problem. So it looks like these people are going to be dealing with this for a while. And right now, luckily a lot of them still have electricity, but there are people without electricity. There's people without heat, and it's getting colder. But if you guys are trapped in this, if you're someone who lives in this area, please let us know below. Also, if you're someone that doesn't live in this area, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.